Hello everybody, this is Level Up Lani here and welcome back to the game Darkest Dungeon. So I wanted to talk with you guys about a very interesting topic which I'm sure many of you guys have discovered already about the PlayStation situation, and I thought why not talk about it while sitting comfortably in my room with two fans on because the heat has gone over 30 degrees yet again, and I just feel like sharing my views and opinions on that. And if anything else comes to mind after that topic, I'll be glad to talk. When I went onto this game, it said that the stress, I think like the stress has reduced or something, not in a good way, but like stress is less effective on when you're trying to treat your people here. I might do that some other time, but not today. We're going to embark on a very simple mission and then get to the topic at hand. First of all, I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody is in good health, enjoying the sun, going to the beach. I'm definitely enjoying my ice creams. I find that when it comes to me, I'm always that type of person that will always have the ice creams when it's really, really hot. And other times maybe I'll have ice cream, but if it's not like a really, really hot day, then I won't have ice cream. But yeah, I've been having that for now. Okay, he's still in recovery. Got it. You can see I've got a whole load of occultists here, and that's because of the healing power, the healing spell they have. That is very useful for me when I go into battle. We're not going to do anything too complex. We're going to try and keep it as simple as possible. Yeah, because sometimes we keep falling into that shovel problem. Okay, 8 of those. We'll get the money back somehow. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, let's begin. Haven't been on here for quite a bit, so I'm going to have to adjust myself to everything, try and memorize everything, but we'll get there. I was, on social media the other day, because that's what I mostly do, and I discovered some interesting news. That news is that PlayStation, I don't know if the other console companies are planning to do it yet, or specifically Sony, are planning to basically stop the physical disc production of games in January of 2028. I am not researched all this fully to the brim. I don't know the ins and outs of everything, so I'm going based on a very light sort of information, and I'm not like well informed in the ins and outs, but there was a lot of information based on that one thing, that in January 2028 they plan to reduce or not make physical disc productions of games after that date. And I just wanted to share my views and opinions on it because I find it, there's a lot of people who are generally upset. I understand why. There are others that truly do not care, and no judgment on either side. But I feel like, in my personal opinion, as a person who, when I was very young, when the PlayStation 1 first came out, I was so young. I remember being a very young kid then. I don't exactly remember the age, but I remember my family members having the PS1 and getting all hyped about it. And then I remember getting my first PlayStation 2, and playing the PlayStation 2 games and then building up from there. And to find out that they are planning to go down this route, I don't know. For me, it is absolutely puzzling. Oh, the battle begins. And the reason why it's puzzling is because I feel with PlayStation, for Sony to make this decision, I feel like it's going to backfire horribly, because I feel like that's what PlayStation was literally all about. PlayStation was literally about, enjoying the games, but then also having a physical copy memory of the great games, and keeping something from, let's say, the past, which you can sort of play over and over again and keep as like memorabilia, or a physical object which could bring you great memories wherever you look at it or collect them. And to make the decision to move physical copies of disc games from January 2028 onwards, I feel like it sort of defeats the purpose of the company itself. It defeats the purpose of PlayStation itself, what it was meant for, what it was meant to be doing. And I'm not going to say all the people who do it are bad and stuff, because companies are going to make their own decisions. It's their company, they built it, it is completely their decision. But I'm just thinking to myself, how is that going to serve literally anyone? To just make everything digital. I mean, it's already a huge complaint of people complaining about how most stuff is now done like subscription wise. Not a lot of people are liking that. There is this strange transfer of things being slowly moved to all digital, which a lot of people do not like in general. But also, even for me, I feel slightly uncomfortable with things just going, just all digital and no sort of physical collection or memory. We gotta heal him so he doesn't bleed out and lose more HP. And I feel like, as I was saying before, it feel like not having a physical copy of a game, no matter the console, but at the moment it's PlayStation or Sony has announced that. Well, basically they've announced that for now. I don't know about the other consoles, which I'll have to check, but it's sort of the same thing if it's other gaming consoles that are planning to do it. I feel like it defeats the purpose of what it was meant to stand for in the first place. It might bite them in the butt, metaphorically, negatively. I don't see this going well or planning out well for them to make this plan. And I'm just baffled, honestly. And I mean, I'm not going to say I know why, because of course not, but there has been a huge kick up, there has been a huge stink on this. And from everything with my life experience and everything I'm seeing around the world, I want to explain from my point of view, even though it may not be accurate, but I want to explain from my point of view why this has caused such a stink with gamers alike and people who love to collect and want to have physical copies of games. Right now in our world, things are getting really interesting but crazy and hectic. And as we all know, especially with this game Darkest Dungeon, you've seen when things get hectic for these characters, their stress goes up and up. And this applies the same way with us. We go through stresses, our stress goes up, our cortisol goes up, our blood pressure shoots through the roof. I'm going to move in a minute, but I just want to continue here so I don't get distracted and forget what I was saying. This is crucial. And some of us, when we are nearly at this level, he's closest to that level, we're going to keep an eye on him. We need outlets. We need things in order to reduce our stress or just disappear for a while. And that is good. I feel like it's definitely needed. But also, on the other side, the negative side of things, sometimes when we use certain things to de-stress, we can also use it as a way of escapism. Because to be real with you guys, and this is my personal opinion, I have trained myself a lot to adjust and be able to sit with my thoughts, whether they're comfortable or not comfortable, and I can deal with my thoughts a bit, even if they're extremely negative. But I know not everybody can do that. Not everybody can deal with sitting by themselves or having the thing that is helping them to de-stress and not going to basically despair just suddenly taken away from them. Some people do use gaming and other things as a outlet, and I understand why. I'm not judging that. So to suddenly see the thing that is helping you or has been helping you for years to release outlets and to help you de-stress suddenly be taken into a digital form where I don't know how they're going to plan this, I don't know if they're going to do subscription or not, but to have it just pure digital where it could be, let's say, not in your physical capacity to have it, and anything can happen to it at any given time, and you may not have it anymore, that can cause a lot of problems, a lot of side effects. Because think about it, if you're using like gaming to like de-stress, and then it goes digitally, and let's say something happens when the game gets shut down, or maybe the server that supports the game gets shut down, that's gone. What do you think is going to be left for people? That's a good healing point. What do you think is going to be left for people when, if that's taken? Nothing. And then they've either got to deal with what they've been suppressing or escaping from, or they may go berserk and end up like these characters here who rather fall into toxicity, madness. I forgot the one, but sometimes the players here, they get stressed, they will take each other out or stab each other. I think that's toxic when if their mind breaks. But yeah, it's just like, and also if it goes digital, of course you're not going to have a game which you can play offline. Mostly it's going to be online, basically. Not a sort of game where you could just pop in, like the old physical disc, where you could just pop in and you could just play it freely by yourself and not have to worry about, let's say, internet connection, or if you're paying a subscription for a membership. I feel people miss that sort of old, let's say, classic lifestyle. I understand technology is good. I knew it. Yeah, that's the mode I was talking about, abusive. This is what I was exactly talking about in this game. This relates to it. So as I was saying before you went, was it abusive mode? I feel it's really important that we at least keep something physical. I'm not going to say all digital is bad. I didn't see that at all. But to make everything digital, just every single thing, nice. To make everything just like digital and have no physical, let's say, memory of anything, I feel like that's going to backfire on everybody if this gets the green light and people support it. I mean, imagine if we did this with like art or relics or very important vintage buildings, protected parks, or let's say anything that's, imagine if we did this with very important things like artworks, sculptures, and I could say it in the form of art or anything which sort of holds a memory of what humanity used to be. If we did that before, we would have nothing to look on, we would have nothing to reflect upon. And then we could create new stuff, but sometimes we would not be able to learn from the past in a way, and we just wouldn't have any treasured memories. We wouldn't have any sort of treasured memories of what was good in the past or what was good in history. Even the relics that show us the negative parts of history physically still teach us some type of lesson, still helps us to learn and understand. But if we all move to just digital and we're not able to retain or have anything to sort of have a memory of nostalgia, good, that's disarmed, then I feel like we're going to be lost, even more lost already. I mean, people, I must say on the side note, we're already having the situation with AI for example. AI is not bad in and of itself, but the way it's being used is also causing a lot of problems. Because with the digital use of what basically AI is sort of digital, it's a technology, it's a tool used on the internet and anything that's technological, that is already causing a lot of problems because we now can't define what's real against what's not real. I can, because I like to study and look at videos very carefully, and any sort of video that shows up, I always make sure to check, is it AI or not? But not everyone can actually spot when something's AI from the real thing. And that in itself is already causing a blur between fact and fiction, or what is real is not real. If we go further than that and just make everything digital, including physical games, we're just going down that same path. Just making everything more, I don't know, just more intangible. I think that's the best word I'd describe it. It's more intangible. There's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing to physically embrace and cherish. And it will be like a world where things could be snatched from you at any given time. And then you won't have anything to have a good fond memory of, because it would all be on the internet and it could just be taken away. Not judging the company, I'm not going to say, oh, they're bad, evil people. I'm just looking at this and going, I don't think this is going to be a great idea. It's not going to end up well. I mean, I don't know if people are leaving like I don't know, Sony or PlayStation already because of this. I did look around and there was a lot of comments about people cancelling their subscriptions to PlayStation over this, which I sensed would actually be a thing. Okay, he's already got the dice there, so, but I can keep that for one of my other jesters. But yeah, people are flipping off, kicking off. I can see why, rightfully so. I just feel we need to retain some form of nostalgia or some form of physical, it's hard to describe. If I'm pausing a lot, it's because I'm really thinking about how to word this. I don't just blurt stuff out like randomly. I really think about what I say before I say it. We need to retain some sort of nostalgia, guys. Not just because, oh, it's cool where we can show it off, but to show how humanity has progressed and the beauty and physical beauty and creation of art. Gaming is a form of art itself. I know some people might disagree, but it is a form of art itself. Game development is a form of art. You're creating. I saw that. That's my fault. That's my fault. I saw it before, but I fell into it. My bad. Gaming and game development is a form of art, and when there's a physical disc of a game made, it is like having the art or canvas of a very good painting or work, but you're more interactive with it, and you could sort of interact with it like a physical game rather than just staring and looking at it. And then even with a physical game, you are able to have it and you can just play it again and again and again, and really cherish the sort of beauty and art that game holds. And I know there's an argument that, yeah, you can still do it while digital, but it just doesn't feel the same. I don't know why it doesn't feel the same, but it just doesn't feel the same if it's just clearly digital with no physical copies. And it still makes no sense to me why it's happening or why it's being planned in the works to happen. I am just as puzzled and perplexed as you guys. I'm generally not upset, but I understand why people are upset, and I'm just absolutely flabbergasted and confused. So yeah, if you guys want to share your views on what's your view about, the plan to make, PlayStation, the plan for the games to become digital only after January 2028, put in the comment box below. I'd like to hear some other opinions about this. Whether you guys are in agreement with it or not in agreement with it, it's good to have a good chat about this. A lot of YouTubers that I was looking around at have already said it's the end of an era, and while I've heard many people do say, oh, this is the end of an era, and I never actually believed it, I feel, in my opinion, with this situation, the ending of physical disc games actually does spell the end of an era. It's similar, I'm not going to say it is as strong, but it's similar to how he moved from, before the industrial age, there was an age before the industrial age. Let's say it's just as big as the world having no computers at first, and then the first use of technology like computers and technology started to come in. So when computers and that came in, it was the end of an era of a sort of non-digital world, and then it became digital, and it then moved to industrial, and then industrial, then technological, and then when AI came in, I felt like also that was the end of an era as well, and this is just another form of an end of an era, surprisingly enough. In all my life living as I have, I never planned or expected this to happen. Never. I never had an inkling that this would come about. That the ending of physical games could be an actual possibility. That's a good hit, actually. However it plays out, and I feel like it's not gonna just be ignored, this topic. However it plays out, I know humanity's gonna move on, evolve like we've done hundreds and thousands of years. But yeah, it's like when you've lived in an era and then suddenly something like that changes, for me, it's like, wow, there's going to be people, if they do go along with this plan, there's going to be individuals that will never sort of understand what it was like having a physical game. Or even today, I've spoke, just on the side note, when I have talked to people about VHS tapes and cassettes, and what was the other thing? Sorry, the third thing was there, but it slipped up my mind. Oh yeah, even the 2D classic Disney movies. There are times where I've talked to people about enjoying the 2D Disney cartoons, and the current generation, some of them have not even watched the classic 2D Disney cartoons. And I'm just absolutely shocked myself. I know some people may not respond that way, but it's shocking to me. I understand the VHS and cassette tapes because that is very classic, but when you talk to sort of current generations, which I have done, and you explain about, the classic Disney, let's say VHS tapes or even DVDs, some future or current generations haven't even watched those. And it's like, you're living without the magic of a certain creation of childhood. And to have that missing, for me, again, is quite perplexing. Okay, got it. I mean, so I'm collecting a lot of good stuff today. This is better than what I usually get, which is like little to nothing. Yeah, but the ending of an era like that, or the potential of that happening, it's like, wow. I'm really glad I was able to embrace that era of physical games while it was still around. I think because of this news, people are going to be probably collecting more physical memorabilia of more physical games to have in the background. But when it was like naturally there, it's like, I don't know, I always knew change was inevitable, but there's some things that you just think would last longer than they should, or you think they would. And with this happening, it feels like the potential of this happening means something valuable is being taken away way too fast, or not in the expected time frame. Yeah, I'm going to be looking more into this, guys, and if I feel like doing a catch-up video on it, I will do a catch-up video. But for now, I think that's all I really needed to say. So everybody, make your choice. You want to go collect physical games before they start doing this planned stunt, go ahead and do it. If you're a person that prefers all digital, not judging, all the power to you. Just let's not go and attack each other for our differences in opinions and choices. There's literally little to no point. And we already have so many disruptions and separations in the world. To start another one on another topic of digital is better vs physical, the other way around, it's just a pointless endeavour. Everybody just make their choices and move on. This has actually been quite a while since I've completed a mission fully, because half the time I would die and have to retreat, but this is the first complete mission which I have done. I want to do continue eventually, just don't want to open that chest there. And strangely enough, it finished when I was just finished my topic. Okay. And we're gonna head back. Well, I'm going to take care of these two right now. So, I'm going to end this video here. I'm quite surprised, because normally when I'm doing missions and I'm focused, my characters kept on dying and I had to retreat. But today I am just chatting normally, not even focused on the screen, just fighting based on what I remember, and I somehow completed this mission fully without failing. You see the irony of that? But anyway, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, please share your views on this PlayStation situation, the situation on how they plan to stop physical games in January 2028, and your views and perspectives on it. It'll be great to hear whether you think it's okay to do or not okay to do. And if you've got any questions or comments on my other topics I've done on this channel, or what I've talked about there, you can click on the subscribe button, or you can comment below. But for more videos, you can click on the subscribe button below, and if you enjoy the content, watch more of it. But now, guys, I'm going to be off, and I wish you guys the best day ever. Bye bye.